So once again, good morning. So great that you could all join us this morning. I hope that you have had a fantastic week learning to code and going through all of the exciting and fun things that we have been going through. So it's a Friday, and Fridays are always good for reflecting on the learning that we have been doing. So just in case you are new and you don't know who I am, I'm Mr. O, Mr. Olson, Mr. Orator, Mr. Omo, Mr. OT, Mr. What did I say yesterday? Ontology. Oh boy, could be a lot of things. As long as it starts with an O, then you know that you can call me that. So yesterday I gave you the challenge of completing some binary images, and I got back this morning this awesome one done by Blessing. So thank you, Blessing, for doing that one. That is absolutely, let's go back to it so we can see it. That is absolutely awesome. I loved seeing this come out, and I think you enjoyed it as well. So if you do enjoy these and you would like more of these, then please do let me know, and let me see if I can make a few more of these. So the idea was that computers, remember, they just speak in zeros and ones, or they only understand at the end of the day zeros and ones. So to understand that a little bit better, we got these binary pictures where we said, okay, just like we'll think a little bit like a computer, and only where there is a one, wherever there's a one, then we'll color that in. And in doing that, we were able to make our very own pictures. And I think that's just absolutely cool. Well done, Blessing, on doing that one. I wonder if you could even make your own. If you make your own, please do send that to me. That would be so cool to see. You can either draw it by hand, or if your mommy or daddy does have, do have Excel or some sort of spreadsheet software, then you can ask them to maybe help you with that. You guys can figure it out. Nika's already got some binary going on in the chat as well. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's take a step all the way back to the start. And who remembers what is coding? You can put your hand up if you think you know, if you do want to answer. What is coding? You know, what are we actually doing here? Whoa, hands absolutely flying up. Let's hear from Kaylee first. Yes, Kaylee, what would you say? What is coding? Yes, Kaylee, are you there?
It's speaking
yes.
the language of computers.
Whoa, that could possibly be one of the best definitions that I've heard. It's speaking the language of computers. Sure, you know what? I think that might just be the definition that I use going forward when I talk to people about coding. The language, and speaking the language of computers. That's awesome. And Nika, what would you like to add to that? How would you say, what is coding, would you say?
Coding is to make games, where we learn to make games, and when you can learn to make videos on YouTube.
Very, very cool. So those are some things that we can do with coding. We can make games, we can do some work, we could use them and even make videos on YouTube, maybe to teach others as well. And do you know that YouTube was put together, and YouTube works, and all of these programs, even like Zoom, what we're using now, this was put together by coding. So those are some great examples. Yes, Tandega. Tandega, what do you think coding is?
Coding is following algorithms.
Oh, did you hear that, everyone? Following algorithms. Yes, and it'll be following specific algorithms to get a computer to do what we want it to do, whether that is making a game or, you know, whatever it might be. That is so great. I love that use of the word algorithm, to, you know, follow certain steps to achieve something. So let's do a little bit of thinking about what did we do this week. Now, we've already mentioned coding. We've mentioned algorithms. Who else remembers? What are some of the things that we did this past week together? Let's think back, because that's going to help us as we finish off our story and make our game today. What did we do this week? Okay, Kaylee, yes. Kaylee, what do you remember us doing this week?
We were doing patterns.
Good, well done on remembering that. We looked at patterns. That was really cool, where we used our building bricks, and we saw that patterns are more than just colors. It can be sizes. It could be, you know, a block flipped over and then, oh, there we go. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. And let's go to, yes, Tandega. What do you remember us doing this week?
We were learning about the flow patterns.
Oh, good. Yes, thank you very much. Was that this week? I think it was. Well, I mean, it's always what we do when we do algorithms. We look at the flow, we look at the sequence of things that need to happen. Okay, so let's see if we've got all of those. We looked at patterns. Oh, we looked at computers. We looked at debugging as well. Do you remember that, where we looked at where are there problems in our code and how do we deal with that and how do we sort that out? And we also looked at something called events. Do you remember what an event is? It's fine if you don't remember right now. I'm going to ask again a little bit later as we get into ScratchJr when we do some more coding. And so what we've got over here is a really, really cool reflection activity that I like to do when I've learned something completely new. And all it is 2 sentences. It starts off with, I used to think, and then you fill that out. And then it's, now I think, something else. So it could be something along the lines of, I used to think that patterns were only for color. Now I think that patterns can be size or shape or whatever it might be. Let me give you one more example, and I'm going to ask you if you can think of something where your thinking has changed. So it could be something like, I used to think that a cell phone wasn't a computer. Now I think that a cell phone is a computer because it uses information and it carries out instructions that we give it to do. So, can anyone think of something new that they have learned this week that they could say, I used to think, and that's what you used to think, and now I think, and that's how your thinking has changed, how you have learned. It's fine if we don't get to anyone answering that just now. If you can think of it, then that's awesome. But otherwise, this is just something for you to think about as we go through this lesson. And I will ask you at the end if we do have time, and I hope that we will. Okay, let's hear from Nika. Yes, Nika. Do you have one for us?
I want to make games, and then I wanted to make games.
You just wanted to make games and you still want to make games. Me too. Making games is really fun. We're going to be finishing off our story in ScratchJr in just a few moments, and then we are going to complete our Norma's Adventure game as well. Let's hear from Blessing. Yes, Blessing.
A cell phone is a computer.
Oh, good. Yes, absolutely right. So we've learned that, cell phones are computers. We even saw those funny little computers, those microbit computers. We saw laptops as computers. We saw servers as computers. We saw all sorts of exciting things. That was really, really cool. And I do just want to remind you, because it is something that we're going to be using so often, our debugging algorithm, where we think about what happened. This is when our code doesn't work. We're going to think what happened, what was supposed to happen, and then what can I do, or what does that tell me? And guys, we're going to be thinking about, and we've got our theme for next week, what we're going to be investigating and coding about and exploring. Do you guys want to know what the theme is now? Well, you can't. I'm going to only tell it to you at the very end of the lesson, just before we finish. Then you'll see. Because for now, we are going to jump back on over to our ScratchJr program. And I hope that you are excited to see that. I know that I am. And we're going to be able to carry on with our story. So if you are following along piece by piece, or if you haven't used ScratchJr before, you haven't got it downloaded and run yet, then please do have a look back in our lessons for how to do that. Or you can email me and feel free to ask me. If you do want to download that, you can get it on a desktop computer, on a cell phone computer, a tablet computer, a laptop computer, pretty much any computer that you can think of. I'm going to tap on Home. to get to all of our projects. And here are some of the projects that we have made as the week has gone along. Remember when we first started off, we got ticked to kick a ball. We're not finished with making Norma's adventure. I've made one, and we're going to finish off making another one today. We did some debugging as Khotso went and got his treasure. But what we will carry on with now is our story with Norma and Peter. So if we have a look over here at our code, let's just do a quick refresh of it and see what our program does so far. So I'm going to make it full screen so we can see it nicely, and then I will tap the green flag. And then what happens is we have Norma saying, hi, Peter. Peter says, hi, how are you? Norma says, namaste, I'm learning to code. And yep, there we go. That's our program. That's our story so far. And we have used lots of different kinds of blocks here at the bottom. Who remembers what these are called, these yellow blocks? What do we call these yellow blocks? Do you remember them? These ones over here. Because I want to recap this because these are some of the most important parts of coding. That's not just in ScratchJr. Even if you built an app or a program like YouTube or a fancy game that lots of people could play, you're still going to be using events. Still going to be using these. Yes, Kaylee, what is it? I gave it away a little bit. Do you remember what it's called?
Events.
Thank you. I should have gone to you a lot quicker. I just went there too fast. Yes, an event. And who can tell us, what does an event do? What is the point of an event? Do we need events? What is an event in coding? Can anyone remember what an event might be? Not quite. Okay. Oh, Kaylee's hand is up once again to say, Kaylee, yes, do you remember what an event is in coding?
It starts things.
Oh, I like how that sounds. Yes, it starts things. It not only, it starts things. And I think that's a great way to start understanding it. It starts things, and it also tells the code when to run. It tells our program when something should happen. Just like we've said, if we look at Norma's code over here, it says when she should say hi and then send an orange message. When is when the green flag is clicked. So when the green flag is clicked, then then say, hi, Peter, then send an orange letter or an orange message. Then Peter has an event over here that says, when the orange message is sent, in the background, we don't even see it. When that is sent, then he must say hi as well, then send a red letter. And then Norma has another event over here. We're going to see, especially when we get onto Norma's adventure, the game that we'll finish off making today, we are going to be able to use more than just one event per person or character or object is what we can also call them in this case. So when Norma receives, or when Norma sees that a red message is sent, then she will say that, namaste, I'm learning to code. Okay, so we've seen how far along this is. I'm not going to play it again because we've seen it. But what do we want to happen next? The last thing that's happened is Norma has said, namaste, I'm learning to code. Let's think, what do we want to happen next? Let's see if we can get this story and this project all the way finished. Where Peter has just said, hello, how are you? And Norma has said hi back and said that she's learning to code. Should Peter say something? Should Norma say something else? Should they move around and do something? They're on a stage. I wonder why they're there. What else do you think should happen in our story? Let's hear, you can put your hands up and it can be anything really. Let's see if we can build this story together. So it has a start, something maybe that goes wrong along the way. And what I'm also going to show you, what we can do is even move onto a whole nother scene, which I think is just very, very cool. So we'll get there soon as well, but we need a reason to get there. So can anyone think of what we might want to happen? Any ideas? Oh boy, is everyone sleeping? Are you guys all right up there? Okay, we didn't do it this morning, so let's do it now. Everyone stand up to your feet. And I want you to do 5 hops on your left foot. Are you ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now onto your right foot. Okay, you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now clap your hands 6 times. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what else is fun to do? Ooh, pull your ears gently, not too hard. Don't pull them off. Pull them 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And jiggle your head about a little bit. Oh, okay. Okay, I hope that's the algorithm for getting your brains working and all excited for the day. Now, you can have a sit down again, have a careful look over here. Let's look at our program so far, our story so far, and I want to hear from you guys. What else do you think should happen? Let's see. Norma says, hi, Peter. Peter says, hi, how are you? Norma says, namaste, I'm learning to code. Now, what should happen next? What do you think? Oh, it's good to see that Kaylee is awake this morning. Let's see if anyone else is as well. But yes, Kaylee, what do you think should happen next?
Next, we should make sure Noah does some flips.
Oh, she does some flips. Oh, I like how that sounds. Let's do that. Okay, so we want Norma to do some flips. Okay, I'm just going to throw that in because we can come over to our movements button over here, the blue one, and then we can grab one of these turn ones. I'm going to go turn right. Oh, maybe we can do a turn right and then a turn left. That'll be cool. And then we need to increase this number so that she flips all the way around. I'm going to try 12. And then we can go 12 the other way as well. And let's see if Norma will do some flips with that. We can just test out our code by clicking on or tapping on this event. So this will, when I tap on this, it just runs this code. So let's see if it does just that. Namaste, I'm learning to code. And then she goes and whoa, flips all the way around that way and then flips around that way. Woohoo! That was really fun. Okay, so what should happen now? Imagine that you were on stage with Norma and you guys have just said hello to each other. She said she's learning to code and then all of a sudden she does flips all over the place. What do you think Peter would say? Or what do you think Peter would do? Would he do something at the same time afterwards? Would he do a flip as well? Would he jump in up and down, up and down? What do you think Peter would do? Blessing has an idea. Yes, Blessing, what do you think should happen next?
He had to jump out to the roof and then he would say, cool.
Oh, that is awesome. Oh, I like that. So let's say that let's do this so that he's jumping at the same time. We're going to add in that Norma should send another message. Okay, so Norma is going to send a yellow message now because we've used orange, we've used red, and now we can send a yellow message. And so we'll come over to Peter, and Peter, when he receives a yellow message, then Blessing said, well, why don't we get him to jump all the way up? And then after he's done a big jump, well, then he should say, that's cool. Okay, so let's go over to looks and grab another talking block over here. And then you could say, maybe that's cool with an exclamation point. So we know that he is shouting. Okay, did you see how cool it was with Norma over here that we could add this in and say, when she receives a red message, then say what she has to say, and then send a yellow letter and then do her flips. I think we should maybe get Peter to do, oh no, we said a bit of a bigger jump, maybe a big jump. Let's have a look what our program looks like at the moment. Okay, here we go. Hi, Peter. Hi, how are you? Namaste, I'm learning to code. And then let's see what happens. Whoa, he jumps and says that's cool. Oh, and then Norma is doing lots of flips all over the place. That is really, really cool. So, yes, okay, and then Blessing, did you want to say, was that the right thing? Did you want that to happen?
No.
No? Okay, what should have happened?
He needed to go higher.
Whoa, even higher. Whoa, okay. Let's see if we can get him to go higher because we're on Peter now. We're using the hop up block. It's on 3 at the moment. Let's go all the way to 6. We'll double it. So it's twice as much. And let's just try that out to see how high he jumps. Whoa! I think did he bump his head? Almost. Okay, let's make it 7 so he bumps his head on the roof. Whoa, there we go. He almost went entirely out of the screen. Now, I want to show you something very cool that we can do as well, because we can have these two transported to another scene in our story. So we've had them start out over here on stage, and now we can look to see where else we want them to go. So to do that, I'm going to click on this plus on the right-hand side of the screen. That's where we add a new scene. If you're on a mobile device, this shows up a little bit differently, but don't worry, we will get there and we'll be able to do the same thing. So let me tap on plus over there. You see that's added in a new scene. If you're on a desktop or computer, you download it and all of that, it does look a little bit different. If you're on a mobile, then it just adds in our same characters, but we're going to have to add them in again. I did a long press on tick, and then I'll tap the X. And now I'm going to get Norma once again. We want her to be in there, and we want Peter to be there as well. Okay, so now they're standing there a little bit bigger, but what we need to decide on is where have they gone? They started off on the stage, and now they can be in any of these places. They could be on a farm, they could be in a library, they could be in a snowy forest, or the ocean, or under the sea. Whoa, where do you guys think? Where do you think that Norma and Peter should be next? They could be in any of these places. Even if you're not putting up your hand, say it out loud. Say, where do you think they should be? Where do you think they should go? Let's hear from Nika. Yes, Nika, where do you think they should be now?
They should be on the snowy place.
Oh, the snowy place. Okay, I like how that sounds. Let's get them into the snowy place. That's this one over here, and it's even called winter. Oh, great. Okay, so what do we want them to do or say? Let's hear from Rory-san. Yes, Rory-san, what do you want to say?
I want them to say,
How would you feel? Look, they're both in t-shirts and now they're in snow. What do you think they might say?
it's cold.
Oh, good thinking. Okay, maybe they're going to say it's cold. Okay, very, very cool. So then what we can have over here is when should that happen? What about when we tap on them? Then they'll say, it's cold. Let's try that. Okay, so then who's this? This is Peter. When we tap on Peter, he says, it's cold. And maybe we can have Norma saying something after that. But before we get too far ahead in this part of the story, let's go to this first scene and see if we can get it to move on to the next one. So to do that, we're going to come over to our red section over here. And there's a new block in here that has a little picture of this other scene and the number 2 over there. And we're going to add this on to the end of what Norma is doing. Let's see if that works and if that takes this whole program on to the next scene. Okay, let's try that out. And then Nika, we'll hear from you just after we've run through this once. Okay, so hi Peter, hi, how are you? Namaste, I'm learning to code. Whoa, that is very cool. Whoa, Peter even jumped and said, that's cool. And Norma did a flip all the way around and then back and then there, they've popped over to there. And now Peter, when I tap on him, he says, it's cold, it's cold. Oh boy, I'm sure he is cold. Yes, Nika, let's hear from you. What do you want to add or say or have happen?
Mama can say,
She's going to say, brr, ah, okay. And should we have her maybe say, let's have her say that after Peter has said it's cold. So we've got an event that'll trigger her saying that as well. We're all the way onto our green message now. And so when Norma receives or sees or gets the green message, she's going to say, brr, ah. And then maybe she can say something so we can get to kind of closer to the end of the story so we can also finish off our game. Maybe I want to go inside. Okay, let's see if this part works. We'll tap on Peter. He says it's cold. And then Norma says, I want to go inside. And then now we can think of how we can maybe start to end this story. So yes, Nika, is that what you wanted to happen? Oh, is your hand not up? Okay, no worries about that. So let's add in one last scene with Norma and Peter. So there we go, Norma, there we go, and Peter, there we go. And now let's have them somewhere nice and warm. Where do you guys think they should go? What can you see a nice warm place that they could go so that Norma isn't cold anymore? Oh, any of these places? Tandega, yes. Where do you think they should go next? Oh, sorry, please say again, I didn't hear.
Can I please go to the bathroom?
Oh, yes, of course you can. And then let's hear then from Blessing. Yes, Blessing, where do you think they should go?
Maybe at the house.
Ah, okay, maybe at the house. Which house? Inside the house or this house over here? Should it be this house? Or a different one?
Different one.
Okay,
The
different.
The bed.
Ah, this one in the bed. Okay, a bedroom. Good. Ah, here we go. That'll be nice and warm. So let's have that bedroom over there. And then we need them to actually do that. And then we can say in this scene, let's just set this one up. When we tap on Norma, then she will say maybe something like, ah, that's better. Bye, everyone. That's better. Bye, everyone. Okay, so let's see. We haven't got them over to the scene yet. Let's come over here. And after Norma has said, I'm so cold, I want to be inside. Then we wanted to go, look, there's a new block over here where they can either go all the way back to the first scene, this one over here, or they could go to this new one where it's nice and warm. So I think we should drag that one in over there. And let's see if this is all working. Do we have the right code there? I think we do. Let's put Peter just over there. Maybe he doesn't even need to say anything in the last one. We go to our first part over here, and let's see if our whole story works and if we're happy with it, or if we want to change anything along the way. So look now, as we go through this, if you think there's anything we should change along the way, or you think they should do anything else along the way, let's go for it. Hi, Peter. Hi, how are you? Namaste, I'm learning to code, Norma says. And then Peter's so happy, he says, that's cool. And Norma does this amazing flip all the way around, and whoa, then they're over here in the snow where Peter says, it's cold. Norma says, but I want to go inside. And then there they are inside. And now when we tap on Norma, then she says, oh, or did I do that on Peter? Oh, I put it on the wrong person. So do you see there's a bug? Who remembers what questions we ask when there's a bug? When there's something in our program that isn't working? That's what we call a bug. And when we want to debug, we want to sort out the problems. So we first need to ask ourselves some questions. Can anybody remember what those debugging questions might be? Blessing, do you know? Yes, Blessing.
You getting ready for coding lab.
That's cool. It actually kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Maybe they're just getting ready for coding club as well. Okay, let's come back to our debugging algorithm. And Kaylee, yes, what do you think? What should we ask to help us debug to solve this problem? Because we wanted Norma to say that.
Norma should have had the code, not Peter.
What are the questions? What are the questions?
The questions are,
Mm-hmm.
what should happen, what did happen, and what can I do?
Oh, that's fantastic. Well done on remembering that. That's absolutely brilliant. So using that thinking of what happened, what should have happened, and what can I do, we're going to be able to solve this problem. So Kaylee has pointed out, well, what happened is that Peter said that. What was supposed to happen? Norma was supposed to say that. So what should we do? What can I do, or what can we do? Let's also hear from Nika and see if we can solve this problem and debug our program. Yes, Nika, what do you think we could do?
You take the purple one. You take the purple one and take them and pull them out of the other one.
Oh, okay. So should take it out of here.
No,
And we're wondering.
no.
No?
You keep the other. You take the purple one. Yes. And
Okay,
then
just
put
take
that
this one
one
out.
away.
Okay, we're taking that one away. And so now, should we swap over to Norma?
Yes.
Okay, let's swap over to Norma. Very good. And then we want an event. So we're going to use that same event. When we tap on Norma, then she says this.
Yes.
Okay, great thinking. And let's see if we can continue with this thinking. So we've said when we tap on Norma, what we want to happen is we want her to say what Peter was saying. And what she was saying is, much better. Goodbye. I don't even know if that's exactly what we said initially, but that's all right if we change it around just a little bit. Now let's see if that works. If we tap on Norma, does she say that? Much better. Goodbye. And maybe we should have Peter saying goodbye as well. Hey, we don't want him to be rude. Does anyone know what we could do to get Peter to say goodbye after Norma has said goodbye? This is one of the most challenging things that we can do in ScratchJr, but it's really going to help your thinking as you go on to even other programs, and it's going to help in making games and all sorts of things like that. But what did we do previously that helped us with when one character like Norma was finished saying something, then she would do something over here, and that would let Peter know that it is his turn to talk. Does anyone remember what that might be? Think about it. Let's even have a quick look at some of our other code. There are going to be some hints in here for us to remember what happened. Okay, let's hear from Khanya. Yes, Khanya, what do you think should happen? How do you think we could do this?
The envelope.
Oh, good thinking. Fantastic. Well done. Yes, the envelope. We can use this envelope, particularly this one over here. But we also want to make sure that it's not this color over here because we've used that color already. We want to use a new one. We're all the way onto the blue one. And so then what we need for Peter over here is we don't need that one anymore. We can use this one, change this to when I get the blue envelope, letter, message, whatever you want to call it, then Peter should say goodbye. Just like that. Okay, let's do one last run through and see if our whole program runs. We want to start at the start over here at number 1. So let's go, stop there. Let's start all the way from the start. One last time on this one before we go off and finish our game. Okay, Norma says, hi, Peter. Peter says, hi, how are you? Namaste, I'm learning to code, she says. Norma, that is. And then Peter's so excited, he jumps and says, that's cool. Norma does a flip around this way and a flip around that way. And now they're in the snow. And Peter says, it's cold. Norma says, but I want to go inside. And it automatically goes over. And now let's see if we fixed the bug that we had last time. We'll tap on Norma and she says, much better. Goodbye. And Peter says, goodbye as well. Guys, that was so cool. Well done on putting that together and thinking that through. Remember that if you forget how we did any of this, you can always come back to the YouTube video. And if you're not sure where that is, then you can also just email me and ask about that. But what we have to do still, okay, and we're going to have to move with it, is we are going to try to finish off this game over here. Let me quickly show you again what the finished game looks like, and we're going to see if we can make it. So it should start when we tap the green flag, and then whenever we tap on Norma, then she jumps over the crab. And if she doesn't, boop, then the crab bumps into her, says out, Norma says ouch, and then the crab goes back to the start so that the game can start again. I think that's quite a fun game. I actually have had quite a bit of fun playing that one. So here we have the start of this program. Okay, so all that we've got so far is Norma with a different colored shirts, and I think we changed the color of her shoes or something like that. She's on the beach because none of the rest of us can be. Oh, that's okay, it won't be for forever. And what we have so far is that when we tap on her, she jumps. She does just a little jump. Okay, so now let's think. What else was in that the game that we already looked at that we could add in here to see if we can finish this game? Okay, so let's think through all of the different parts of this game, and then we'll work on one part at a time. Yes, Kaylee, what else do you remember is in this game?
You need a crab.
Good. Yes, very good thinking. We need the crab. So let's go. I tapped on add a character, and I'm going to go and look for the crab. When you see the crab, shout crab. Did you, where, huh? Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. I feel like I heard that shout all the way from here. So we've got the crab, and this crab is huge. So let's just think about the crab now. We're not going to worry about Norma or any of the other things, just the crab. And what does the crab do? What do we need this crab to do? Do you remember from the last one? Let's think about the crab and what the crab does. Does anyone have any ideas on what the crab should do? Kaylee has an idea. Yes, Kaylee, what does the crab do?
He needs to walk, and also he's huge, so you need to shrink him a little bit.
Great
with
thinking.
The purple thing.
Oh, fantastic. Sure. I feel like you could make this you could start making your very own games. Well done. So let's go to the purple section over here. We'll grab a shrink block and do this little trick to get our crab to be a bit smaller. Oh, that's nice and small. Not too scary now. Okay, so we've got our crab over there. He's shrunk down. Just a reminder, please do not switch your cameras on. Because this is going to be uploaded on YouTube and everything like that. And we don't want these, we want to still be able to use these videos so lots of people can learn from them. Okay, so we've got our crab so far, and we need him to walk along. We want this all to start when the green flag is tapped. Okay, so when the green flag is tapped, we want our crab to move along. So let's see if that works so far. Okay, he's moving, but you know, that's not very much. You know, there are going to be a few ways that we can do this. I wonder what we could do to get him to move along lots and lots. Remember, we want him to keep moving and keep moving so much that when he touches this side, that he just pops out that side. Let's think about how might we do that. Yes, Nika, what do you think we could do?
You can take you see the under block against the 4 word and tap on it, and then you will see something that you have to then tap on it.
This one over here, yes?
Yeah. Then
okay.
You can choose a map. How much?
Okay, should we choose a number like, let's just start off with 50. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay, let's try 50 and let's see what that does. When we tap on the green flag, there we go. That crab is moving, and then it comes out that side. And then it's going to keep going, keep going. Okay, while it goes, oh, but he stopped over there. Oh dear. Okay. So that doesn't let him go forever and ever. I wonder if there's a way to loop that, to repeat that forever? Ha, can I show you that there is? If we want something to just keep on going forever, we can come to our red section over here, and then we can say, keep doing that forever. So as soon as this block is finished running, whether it's 1 or whether it's 50, however many, as soon as it's finished running, it's just going to come back to the start and do it again. So in this way, we can get something to happen forever. That's called a forever loop. And you know, at one point, there was a programmer who used a block kind of like this. Well, they had typed it out, and they caused a big chunk of the internet to break, to crash. There was a massive server where that happened, where everyone was trying to connect, and it stopped working because of that. Oh boy, what a terrible mistake. Okay, so let's see what else we need to do over here. We need to have Norma jumping, which is good. We got that. Let's get her to jump just a little bit higher. And I think you guys really have this figured out nicely, that if we just tap on that number and we can make that more, we can increase that number. So she jumps higher. Let's see. That's nice and high. What do you think? Maybe even more. Let's see how high we can get it to jump. Wow, that is an impressive jump. So now when the crab comes, we do jump. Oh, but she still kind of lands on it, which is just a little bit unfortunate. Okay, so we've got a few ways that we can do this, and we're running out of time just a little bit. So I just want to show you how we can do all of this. Okay, so look carefully and listen carefully as we go through this. What we want to happen then is we want the crab to move faster. So I'm going to add in another event, but it's the same as this one. So at the same time, whenever I click the green flag, we want his speed to be set to fast. And in order to do that, we come to our orange section. And here it says, if we tap on this, it says set speed, and we want him to go very fast. You see that we can do that? That's cool. Now let's see if the crab goes fast. There we go. Now he's going nice and quickly. And there she can jump over nicely. Good, it's starting to come together. What we also need to happen though, is that when Norma is bumped by the crab, so got to make sure we put that in the right place. We need to have Norma selected. We'll drag in this event that says when start on bump Norma, when anything bumps Norma, then we want her to say, let's go, ouch. And we want our whole program to stop. That's what this block does. It says stop program. And let's have a quick look what that does. Ouch, there she says ouch. But that would stop running that block over there. But what we want to have is another event that sends a message to our crab to say, go back to the start and stop doing what you're doing. I know I'm moving through this very quickly, but remember, you can check it out again on the recorded session on YouTube. So when I receive, which letter? The orange letter. So when that orange letter is received, then we want you to go back to where you were. Well, that's the original size. Where is that? Go back to where you were, crab. That's where you started, and stop running. Okay, let's have a quick look to see if that runs and if that's all working. Okay, she's jumping. Oh, and then she said, ouch, ouch. And then he went, oh boy, over there. Okay, so we've still got just a few little bugs in there. What you can do is try to figure it out. And then just for a little bit of time on Monday, we will once again do that. Okay, so we're going to stop with the recording just for this session for now. And I would like to talk to you just about one last thing again. All right, just a very quick one in case you missed that. Our theme for next week is going to be robots. Oh, we are going to be creating and learning all about robots. Maybe we can even get some robotic parts together, and we'll be coding about robots, investigating about robots. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope that you do join us next week in our last week of Coding Club for January. But otherwise, I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic and glorious weekend. I think Dennis the dog is going to keep on playing his cat chasing game. I think I'll probably do some more coding and making some things, and I really hope that you do too. Thank you so much for joining us once again, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.